Well, that quieted you right down, didn't it? More coming in. Good morning.
Good morning.
So good to see so many of you right in front of me, and those that I sense are here in the online pews. I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that I am here. I'm glad that we are here together. You know, if we're lucky, we can have a sense of rhythm to our lives, a shape to our days, some small slice of predictability amidst the uncertainty. And we are lucky because we do have that for every seventh day at 10 a.m. in the morning, the All Souls Unitarian Universalist faith community gathers. The Sundays come round, and here we are again, winter, spring, summer, fall. Sunday morning, 10 a.m., that's where it's happening, right here. It's an hour that grounds us, that nourishes us, that challenges us, and that comforts us. It's a blessing we can count on. My name is Tricia Brennan. I'm All Souls sabbatical minister during the time when Reverend Carolyn is on her sabbatical. And I get to lead worship today with Liz Binger. As we gather this morning, we acknowledge the Nahantck and Mohegan people as the traditional caretakers of the land on which we worship. We honor and pay respect to the Nahantck and Mohegan people, their ancestors and their lineage today, who uphold traditional practices, art, and education. Welcome to All Souls. All souls are welcome. I joyfully call you to worship this morning. Our opening hymn is "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple," and we'll sing it 2 times. Please rise as you are willing and able.
Everybody gets seated. Lots of folks here today. Good morning, everyone. It's our custom here at All Souls to greet each other warmly each Sunday. Please remember that at this time we're still offering peace with our elbows. Let's all turn and wave to the folks in the online pews. And I'd like to take a minute to invite anyone who might be here for the first time or visiting after a long time away to please, if you're willing, to raise your hand so that we can recognize you and welcome you all. Special good morning to Ellen and Andy, who are visiting us from the Boston area. Oh, I don't know the particulars, yeah. So those of you who are here in the online chat, please take a moment to say hello, and we can all welcome you again. And this is a time that we invite you to turn to one another, offer a greeting and a message of peace with your hearts, your eyes, your smiles, your voices, and your elbows. Peace.
Good morning. I'll give you all an elbow. So each week we light the chalice, the symbol of our faith, and we invite up a young one typically to help us light the chalice. And this morning we invite up Rashid. This is a big deal for Rashid. He's usually hanging out in the nursery, and he especially came in today for this. So while Rashid lights the chalice, please say with me the chalice lighting words. We light this flame, reminding ourselves to treasure the magic in the mundane, the wonders of carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, creating light, heat, and the dance of a flame. We light this chalice, kindling, remembering our innate sense of wonder at the very real magic of our world. Let us worship.
And is also the custom, we'll be lighting a candle of peace. As March 8th, International Women's Day approaches, we light a candle of peace because women hold up half the sky. We celebrate women as profound peacemakers in our world and grieve the lack of gender equity that persists worldwide. We call to mind as we light this candle, especially the millions of young girls who lack an opportunity for education, freedom of movement, safety, and bodily sovereignty. And we pledge to continue to work for their advancement. choir. That was great. It looked like you were having a heck of a good time as you were singing that one. So as the choir sits down, yeah, I'm going to take our time here, and there is no rush. Thank you, Jesse. And actually, the children can come on up for the story. You might have noticed that some people were wearing some kind of funny outfits. What? Hats and other such funny things. And that is because the worship theme for the month of March is Whimsy. Whimsy, that's a funny word. It's not one that you hear very often. It means, I think it means playful, and it means silly, and it means funny, and it means magical, and even quirky. Perry and I are going to act out a whimsical story called Watch Me Throw the Ball. And Reverend Tricia, starring in Watch Me Throw the Ball, Volume 1 by Mo Willems. Here we go. First, my baby hat. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. As I find out what I am supposed to say. We're not gonna worry about that, are we? Are we, Perry? No, we're not gonna worry about that. Okay.
We can share this here.
Thank you so much. Oh. Okay. La 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 la. Oh, a ball.
Piggy, you found my ball.
Gerald, is that your ball? That is your ball.
Yes, I threw it from way over there.
You threw it from way over there?
Yeah, I am very good at throwing.
May I throw your ball, Gerald?
You want to throw my ball?
I do, yes.
Do you know the secret to throwing?
I do, yes. Have fun.
Fun! Throwing this ball is not easy. It takes skill. It takes practice. It takes skill and practice. I worked very hard to learn how to throw a ball. Very hard.
Right, got it. May I try it now?
Yes, maybe one day you can throw like me, but...
Hold on. Pig is gonna throw the ball. Wow, how about that? I threw the ball so far I can't even see it. Woohoo, pig! Pig rocks! Woohoo! Woohoo! The pig rocks. Call me Super Pig with my arm of power.
Piggy?
Huh? Need to throw a ball? Here's the pig to call. Need to throw the ball? Here's the pig to call.
Piggy!
What? Yes, you mean Super Pig?
Super Pig?
Yes.
I can see your ball.
Oh, yes?
Back here!
Oh.
Do you know what this means?
Yes, I threw the ball all the way around the world. The pig does it again. Pig's really neat. Super pig. Super pig. Super pig.
Peggy! Peggy! You did not throw the ball around the world. The ball flew behind you and fell here. And that is not very far. Not very far at all.
All right, Gerald. You are right. I didn't really throw the ball all the way around the world. But I had fun. La 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 la.
Woo! Yes, I rock! And I also had fun. We rock. So actually, it's funny because I did play competitive baseball for a very long time, but you know what? It's fun to just go out and throw a ball around. Like, I like even more just throwing and going out and having a catch, right? There's nothing like having a catch. Is there something that you enjoy doing? It doesn't matter how good you are at it, you just love doing it. And it's not about competition or winning, it's just about enjoying and having fun. Is there anything like that? What do you like to do? You did it this morning, and Dad hit you in the face. Accidents happen, you know, accidents happen. Were you able to get back to the fun after that? What else? What else do you like doing? What do you like doing for fun? Really?
Playing soccer.
Playing soccer. There's one, playing soccer, and it's just fun.
Interrogating my brother.
That's not really, I don't know that that's an activity. Interrogating your brother. I guess if that's fun for you. I don't know if it's fun for your brother, though.
I like slapping my face.
Really? Okay.
I like singing.
Joanna.
I like singing.
Swimming. That's a fun one. I bet a lot of people in here like swimming. With sharks. Well, people have different ideas of fun, but yeah, for some people that's fun. You know, there was a guy, Steve Irwin, and he liked to play with crocodiles, right? You like to swim with sharks. Some people like the thrill of excitement of danger.
I like scorpions.
Scorpions. Wow, this is a thrill-seeking group. So I'm a little bit scared to go with them now out to classes, but that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna have fun, hopefully with no sharks. So if you could sing us out, that would be great, and wish me well.
That was fun. Each week, as the community gathers, one of the ways we tend to the fabric of community is to bear witness to each other's lives, the joys and the sorrow both. Those souls in the online pew, you can write in the YouTube chat now whatever you would like to have shared here in Unity Hall. And a reminder for those of you at home to hold back on refraining to what someone says for a little bit, making it easier to read it for me. Those of you in Unity Hall here, you're invited to come forward as you would like to light a candle of intention. Those of you who are at the front of the line, asked to come up and begin up at this end just to keep the flow going. The circle is now open. Your joy, your sorrow is welcome here. From those who are speaking to us from the online pews, Catherine Aaron says, "We celebrate almost a full week home from the hospital with sweet baby Ray. Thank you for your beautiful song, choir. Love and miss you." You can hear that love, that right back at you, Catherine. Kate Treadwell Hill shares that her friend, whose husband suddenly died recently, has been diagnosed with dementia and needs to sell her farm. What a lot she is dealing with, that friend of Kate's. Linda Uhas asks for prayers, please, for my friend Mike as he struggles with his own health issues while caring for his wife who has Alzheimer's. So much that people are caring. We will, Linda. We will pray for your friend Mike. Sandy Cohn says, bittersweet. The celebration of life and fundraiser for the Benoit family brought many people to honor Aaron. Yes, bittersweet. Thank you for sharing, Sandy. And in this book, Cynthia, Marion, and John Pappas share that yesterday, March 4th, marked the one-year passing of our beloved son-in-law, Jonathan Kreider, 38 years old. We miss him every day. His spirit lives on in our own beautiful grandchildren, Evan and Charlotte. Cynthia and John, that first year is so hard. We feel for you and your grandchildren and all who miss Jonathan. Bradley and Angela Mock. Apologies for any mispronunciations. Brad's mom, Linda, continues to struggle with long, hard recovery from back surgery. She is back in L&M due to a recent fall. Oh, we're so sorry, Brad and Angela. That is discouraging. Thank you for sharing that. So we take all that in. We take in all the intentions represented by the lit candles. We take all that remains unspoken within our own hearts, even at times kind of far away from our own awareness, but there nonetheless. Prayer and meditation does indeed mean different things to different people. So in whatever way is your custom, please join me in a time when our hearts and minds unite towards that which is most essential, most holy, most simple and true. O Spirit of life, moving through us all, we give thanks for the gift of this beloved gathered community. We do not take for granted the opportunity to live out our faith, to grow our faith, individually and in the company of other souls. We are grateful that so much sharing happens in this community. Sharing of stories, sharing of sorrows, sharing of songs and skills, money and resources, time, kindness, wisdom, and humor. May we continue to grow in generosity, making a habit of it, answering yes time and again whenever we can to a request to give of ourselves. Help us to see that we each have something to give, and let us not hold back on what is ours to share. For truly in giving do we receive, and in giving is the community strengthened and the world renewed. For all that we have been given, we give thanks. For all that is to come, we say yes. Amen. Let us be together in a time of silence.
This morning's reading is by Mary Oliver. How would you live then? What if 100 grosbeaks flew in circles around your head? What if the mockingbird came into your house with you and became your advisor? What if the bees filled your walls with honey and all you needed to do was to ask them and they would fill the bowl? What if the brook slid downhill just past your bedroom window so you could listen to its slow prayers as you fell asleep? What if the stars began to shout their names or to run this way and that way above the clouds? What if you painted a picture of a tree and the leaves began to rustle and a bird cheerfully sang from its painted branches? What if you suddenly saw that the silver of water was brighter than the silver of money? What if you finally saw that the sunflowers, turning toward the sun all day and every day, who knows how, but they do it, were more precious, more meaningful than gold? So ends the reading.
Creating a meaningful worship service is a sum of many parts: music, singing, silence, prayers, words, the setting, and the people who by their presence make it real, give it a heartbeat. Every part matters. This week, I was having a really hard time finding a good reading. So I decided to give ChatGPT a whirl. I was wondering if I was going to need to explain what ChatGPT is, but maybe not. But in case you don't know, it's quite all right. It's the new artificial intelligence and chatbot, which interacts with its users in a conversational way. Mind you, I was not looking for help to write my sermon. For better or worse, you get me, and only me, when I preach. But I was really curious, what would it give me if I asked for a reading on Whimsy for a UU worship service? Now, would any of you like to hazard a guess on what rather well-known writer I was served up within seconds by asking that of chat? Lewis Carroll. Who? Bennett Cerf. These are good. A.A. Milne, Ogden Nash. These are really great. None of them. Anything else? Did I hear? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, and it wasn't the one, that beautiful reading that Liz just read, but I saw that chat gave me Mary Oliver, patron saint of UUs, and I just laughed, like, oh my God, they got us nailed. It was a poem called Whimsy, and let me read it to you. It's short. Whimsy. I was watching a squirrel eating his breakfast. He takes a nut out of the bin, and suddenly he stops and puts it down, as if to say, did I leave the gas on? Did I leave my car unlocked? Did I forget the first 6 years of my life? He is standing erect, looking around, doing his best to appear as if he knows exactly what he is doing. It is autumn, the acorns are falling, and he's working hard to store up for a cold winter. But right now, he's just taking a moment to pause and reflect and let his mind wander and his heart be filled with whimsy. So let us learn from the squirrel and take moments in our busy lives to pause and reflect and let our minds wander and our hearts be filled with whimsy. For it is in these moments of playful abandon that we find true joy and wonder in life, and remember that even amidst the chaos and the noise, there is always space for a little whimsy. Does anyone else think that's a really lame poem? Not one of her better ones, I said to myself as I read it quickly at first. So I asked for some more selections from chat, and I learned that as I went along, that the more specific my question, the better and more helpful were chat's responses. So my last request was a reading on Whimsy by an activist. And I was so thrilled when chat gave me something from Bayard Rustin, the civil rights activist who I've long admired for his eloquence and passion and organizing skills and his courage as an openly gay man in the 1960s. The first line of the reading that chat gave me was, "Whimsy is the oil that keeps the machinery of social justice moving." Bingo! I was really excited, and I read it, and it was a good reading, and so I thought my search was over. Being dutiful, I wanted to read the article from which these 3 paragraphs or so came so I could understand the context in which Rustin was writing about whimsy. Chat told me that it comes from Protest to Politics, the Future of the Civil Rights Movement, an article in the Commentary magazine in 1965. It was a long article and a very good article filled with optimism at all that had been accomplished in the civil rights movement to date and insights on what lay ahead. I was moved by Rustin's brilliance and power. About 10 minutes in, I suddenly realized, where's the whimsy? And because it was a long article, I started to scan ahead looking for that line. Whimsy is the oil that keeps the machinery of social justice moving. It was nowhere to be found. There was no whimsy at all in this otherwise very fine piece of writing. Well, now by now, Chad and I had developed a friendly relationship, and it was time for a come to Jesus conversation with Chad. Chad, I said, I just read Rustin's essay, From Protest to Politics, and I didn't find the reading that you offered, nor could I find it anywhere else. Can you point me to where the reading that begins, "Whimsy is the oil that keeps the machinery of social justice moving," comes from? Chat fessed up. I apologize for confusion. The reading I provided was a paraphrase and not an actual quote from Bayard Rustin. It was intended to capture the essence of Rustin's belief in the importance of humor, justice, and creativity in social justice work. Right. And as you might guess, that was not a Mary Oliver poem, but what Chat thinks Mary would have to say on Whimsy. And likewise, with so many of the other articles that I got between Mary Oliver and Bayard Rustin, some were actually existing pieces of writing, but often misattributed to the person who actually did write it. So thus ended my foray into the world of artificial intelligence. 2 hours in, I was no further along in finding a good reading than when I started. I was not amused. But several days later, as I sat down to write this sermon, I did begin to chuckle. For one thing, didn't I end up with Mary Oliver after all? Chat was on to something. And then when I thought about my long and winding road in search of a reading on Whimsy, it began to seem a little, well, whimsical, actually. Not unlike a whimsical tale, my journey had lots of twists and turns. Through Chat's efforts, I met lots of people along the way, some living and some dead, some eloquent and some banal. A road that at first seemed to have been a dead end was on second glance more like the yellow brick road. And I, like Dorothy, was searching for something, not fully realizing that the journey was part of the process, part of the learning. And my journey had me interacting with this creation of human ingenuity called ChatGPT, a creature seemingly possessing great knowledge and power, or maybe not. In whimsical and fanciful tales, think Alice in Wonderland, Harry Potter, some of the ones you all mentioned before, there are often magical creatures. And the question that hangs in the air in the story is, can they be trusted? Are they benevolent or malevolent or capricious? Are they what they seem to be? It's not always clear. When it comes to this created entity, ChatGPT, I don't know. It's not clear. But I was beguiled there for a while, and I remain curious. To my knowledge, which is not as extensive as ChatGPT's, you are the only Unitarian Universalist congregation in the history of Unitarian Universalism that has chosen Whimsy as a monthly worship theme. Go All Souls. And I've been around the block. Play is not uncommon as a worship theme, wonder for sure, delight also, all closely related to whimsy, but not quite the same thing. Whimsy encompasses those things, but it also seems to me to be a little bit saucy, or perhaps just a little odd or peculiar. When I asked why whimsy as a worship theme, Carol Thompson said, well, we thought it would give a chance for some lightness and fun, which is always great, especially around this time of year, when many of us are so ready for some warmth and color and light when we feel tired and cranky from winter's cold and grayness. Whimsy, I think, is an invitation to not take ourselves too seriously. We, of the many projects and responsibilities, worries and duties, can lose sight of how precious, mysterious, beautiful, and comical life is. We can lose sight of how precious, mysterious, beautiful, and comical we are. We can also exaggerate our importance, thinking that it all rests on our shoulders alone to solve problems or accomplish great things. Whimsy, in any and all its manifestations, upends those illusions and helps us see reality more clearly. Someone I don't recall who told a story of being on a panel at a conference with the Dalai Lama. The person was both awed and intimidated about sharing the stage with this esteemed spiritual leader. As they met, the Dalai Lama, in a very natural way, opened his arms to embrace the man. And the fellows felt so blessed to be embraced by this holy man. And then, while embracing, the Dalai Lama tickled the fellow. And they both burst out laughing. What a moment! Two older fellows, one famous, one not, suddenly both boys again, having a tickling fight. No one can take themselves too seriously when they're tickling or being tickled. So apparently, Bayard Rustin did not say, "Whimsy is the oil that keeps the machinery of social justice moving." But we do know that the political activist and writer Emma Goldman said, "If I can't dance, I don't want to be part of your revolution." It's enough to love to dance. It doesn't have to be in service of the revolution. It's enough to have fun throwing the ball, even if it doesn't go very far. Whimsy doesn't have to serve a purpose. And yet, any social justice committee here or elsewhere will do well to dance or laugh or play. Who doesn't want to join a committee that has fun while doing hard and serious stuff? Who doesn't want to be with people who have the wisdom to not take themselves too seriously? Wisdom is enthusiasm that refuses to defend itself against practicality. I love that quote. So I'm going to say it again, and it didn't come from chat. Whimsy is enthusiasm that refuses to defend itself against practicality. That was Jared Anderson. Great quote. When I think of the whimsical people that I know, they are mostly very young and very old. Young enough to not yet be compressed into a shape they've assumed to meet the world's expectations, and old enough to have realized they can't, won't, and don't care to be anyone other than who they delight in being. I close with the wonderfully whimsical words of Hafiz, the 14th century Persian poet who feels like a friend. The sky is a suspended blue ocean. The stars are the fish that swim. The planets are the white whales I sometimes hitch a ride on. The sun and all light have fused themselves into my heart and upon my skin. There is only one rule on this wild playground. For every sign Hafiz has ever seen reads the same: they all say, "Have fun, my dear. My dear, have fun in the beloved's divine game, in the beloved's wonderful game." Blessed be.
We're at the time for our offering, and before we get to that, I'd like to invite Mary Drake to come forward to share a little bit of an update and information with us about the stewardship campaign as a part of the stewardship committee.
Reverend Tricia, you are a very hard act to follow. Here comes the commercial. 77% of our congregation have pledged $405,080. That's 96% of our 23-24 goal of $420,000. Almost there. The campaign is officially over, so you get no more commercials, but we hope that the remaining 23% will pledge enough to close the gap. We should be very proud of All Souls, that's us. We'll be able to do how much we will be able to do in the next fiscal year because of our campaign. And thank you all so much for your commitment and sacrifice so that our beloved community can continue to nurture us and those beyond our walls. I was also supposed to talk about UU's seventh value, the interconnected web of life of which we are a part. But you kind of stole my thunder. And so did you, Liz, and all the wonderful authors that they quoted. And we all know we're preaching to the choir because this congregation strives to live our belief in caring for the earth. All you have to do is look at the hybrid cars, solar panels, landscaping plans, buying organic, recycling, reducing resource use, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How we treat nature expresses our understanding of our place in the universe. In Braiding Sweetgrass, the book, Robin Wall Kimmerer writes, "I was sensing as an environmentalist the public's longing to belong to a place. The sense of I don't belong here contributes to the way humans treat the land or mistreat the land. When we belong to a community, we are open to the awe and wonder of nature, as when viewing images from the James Webb Telescope, discovering spring's first crocus, or spotting animal tracks in the snow. Last Tuesday, I was looking out the window and a flock of 50-some, not starlings or sparrows, but robins, descended on my humongous holly bush, stripping it of the only berries it had ever borne in 7 years. How am I connected to this miracle? By never cutting that horrible holly. This is all serious stuff, but we crave laughter and lightness as we can tell from how we all enjoyed Throwing the Ball by Perry and Reverend Tricia. So, don the costumes. Okay, it's up to you. Don the costumes, laugh, sing, and dance to express our love, hope, and joy, and our gratitude for our personal blessings and this beloved community. Thank you again for your generosity and your attention. Enjoy the day. Thank you.
This congregation rocks. And for myself, a special thank you to Mary and the other members of the Stewardship Committee for a great campaign that was inspiring and exciting and aspirational. So thank you. So now, each week we express our appreciation for this faith community through giving. We are grateful for your generosity. Now, to prepare us for the offering, we say these words together. We give to the work of all souls. Our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this, our offering. The offering will be gratefully received.
Our closing hymn is number 116, I'm pretty sure. I'm on my way. Rise as you Don't worry, we'll extinguish the chalice in a minute. I invite you now, though, to reach out your arms to one another, whether here or in the online pews. And as you reach, think also of reaching further out into the world beyond these walls. All those we touch enrich our lives. Perhaps Whimsy will find you this week in some out-of-the-way corner of your life, or in someone you know, or someone you meet, or some animal. Say yes to the invitation to laugh, to have fun, to be curious, to express the whimsy that belongs to you. Say yes and see where your yes takes you, and come back and tell us all about it. Blessings be. Please be seated as the chalice is extinguished.
Please say with me the chalice extinguishing words up here. Our service has ended, but our work is not yet done. Our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion.
Root beer rag. Announcements. If you are new to All Souls and you want to know more about this fabulous faith community, please stop by the welcome table over there and someone will be happy to greet you and answer your questions. Black lives do matter, and the witness will be occurring immediately after service out on the street. Somebody would be needed to move the banner, and please join as you can. Next Sunday is Music Sunday, and it's going to be very special here because Jim Scott, who's really a well-known UU and beyond composer and song leader and worship leader, will be leading worship. So that's next week. Also next week, daylight savings times starts, so don't forget or else you'll miss worship when you arrive. The Common Read book is called Mistaken Miracles, and it's available for purchase today. Please see Kathy Spindler at the book table. Kathy, can you, there, Kathy? That's you, Kathy? There you are, okay. She's pointing over there. And now, let's have cake to celebrate the stewardship. Yay. Hi.
Lori.
You're Lori.
No, Lori.